Welcome back to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast. Today I'm broadcasting live from the buzzing show floor at Cisco Live, and I have an exceptional guest joining me right in the heart of the action. She's got so much passion, enthusiasm and excitement, and so engaging to listen to. Her name is Lorrissa Horton. She is the Chief Product Officer at Webex. And under Larissa's leadership, Webex has evolved into an end-to-end platform that offers both collaboration software and hardware that delivers tailored hybrid work and customer experience solutions. But what does this mean? What does that look like? What problems are we solving in the workplace? Well, these are just a few of the things that I want to talk about today. And I also want to find out a little bit more about the fact that she's recognized as one of the top Asian American business leaders today with over 10 patents to her name. She truly is an inspiration in the tech world. And in today's tech conversation, we'll be discussing all this and Webex's latest round of announcements on Gen AI and its new partnership with AT&T, along with Webex's vision, the future of work and future of customer experiences. So buckle up and hold on tight as I beam your ears all the way to Las Vegas, where you can join me sitting down with Lorrissa Horton and exploring one of the tech industry's leading collaboration platforms. But enough from me. Let's welcome Lorrissa now. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell everyone listening a little about who you are and what you do?
Hello, everyone. I'm Lorrissa Horton. I am a SVP and Chief Product Officer here at Webex for all of our collaboration portfolio.
So I've got to ask, what are you enjoying most about Cisco Live this year? There's so much happening, so much going on, so many announcements. What are you enjoying most?
I think the piece I enjoy the most is having like in-person engagements with customers and partners and like the entire community, analyst press, because it's so often that we are, working throughout the day in our back-to-back meetings and we don't get to know the people. And yet when you're at Cisco Live like this, we get a chance to have a drink and have a conversation outside of just the work. I think very often we're just too busy to make time for those pieces. And here it's been great. It's been great to get to know everyone, and also just share more about who we are as people outside of the work every single day.
Love it. And there are so many big announcements here this week. So as the Chief Product Officer at Webex, what's your primary vision for the product's development and innovation? Because it feels like there's a lot of exciting things happening there.
There are so many things happening. I think top of mind is AI, and you guys heard a lot about AI this week. So I hope it shows how seriously we are really rethinking everything that we do, from the user experience that G2 mentioned of like, how is that going to evolve when AI becomes part of every surface area that you touch, to the productivity of people. Like, how can we help them get more done at a higher quality by leveraging AI? All the way into the physical spaces that we all work in. How did those get better because of AI? I think you guys saw the cinematic meetings and the cinematography around a room. And so bringing kind of the art to the science and bringing that into work. So super excited about the AI capabilities. But also, I think the overall work we've been doing around helping customers think about what the new world of work looks like, whether that is the workplace and how we get people excited to come back to the office for the days or, whatever type of policy they want to roll out. Plus, what are the tools that you need every single day, especially if you become a remote worker, so that you can still ideate and solve problems together with people who are no longer in the same physical space as you, potentially forever, like if you've chosen to be remote forever. How do we make sure that we still help build camaraderie and high-performing teams in this more distributed world? I think that being able to have a hand in shaping the way the world is going to work is extremely exciting. I mean, this is, going to change. I always talk about my kids' expectations of what a job and work looks like is going to change drastically because of the work that we're doing right now. In the past, I always assumed 9 to 5 in an office with a commute, like that's just work.
Yeah.
And now, like, we've changed all of those norms and we are redefining what that new world of work is going to look like and a place to work looks like. That's pretty exciting.
It's incredibly exciting, and you can really feel that in the air at the moment. As you said, the redefining and reinventing what that future of work looks like. So if we look at everything we're talking about here, from AI to the new tools, the new products, how does all this align with Cisco's overall strategy? Is there a change in direction there too?
Yeah, I think one thing is overall, we're looking at what can Cisco do for you and not what can collaboration do for you or networking do for you or security do for you. And I think as we've brought all of those pieces together, we've also realized we're not just affecting the way people work and the buildings they work in, but even the customers that they serve. And so it's been really interesting to see how we've all stepped back and looked at the entire solution and the outcomes that we can drive and the changes we want to make in the world, more so than the bits and bytes and the feature. And I really hope you guys saw that this week, because, even the customer stories that we brought on stage, it wasn't about the feature they used that made them buy the solution. It was the outcome that they were driving for their customer, whether it was a hospital and a patient, or, the NFL and the viewer experience in a stadium. I mean, it's exciting to hear, like, that's the impact. That was the point of it all, not the single feature that enabled those things. And so I think that's been a really great transition and transformation. As we've leaned into this growing market of contact center, it's been so great to see how across Cisco, we're thinking about, how does that remote agent working in this place in a foreign country, how do we help them do their best work? Right. And
it's so refreshing to hear that, starting with the problem, starting with the impact, and then technology second. Because for so long, there's been a lot of businesses get distracted by the shiny technology, and it should always begin with the problem first, shouldn't it?
Yeah. And I think AI is one of those examples where we're all so excited about AI, but you've heard us say that we're doing purpose-built AI because we're really trying to bring ourselves back to reality of who is the person that's using this, why are they going to care, and how are we going to help them? And once we've helped them, then how are we helping the business all up? And what is like the larger impact, to the world when we do this? Healthcare is a great example. When we saw telehealth spike during the pandemic, utilizing our video, our calling, all of these kinds of capabilities, it wasn't just the fact that you were keeping people safe, while there's a pandemic going on, but you're able to reach people who maybe couldn't drive into a hospital or couldn't drive into a doctor's office. And that's actually a change that is going to persist moving forward. And if we think of the impact of democratizing care for people, it's huge. Like, yes, it was a pandemic that potentially forced us into that posture and openness to doing that. But the long-term impact of that is we can reach more people with care. And that's the exciting part.
It's such a powerful point there. And to further bring it to life, can you elaborate on how Webex's end-to-end platform is helping deliver what hybrid work and customer experience solutions? And also, how does this set Webex apart from your competitors, would you say?
So let me start first with hybrid work.
Yeah.
I think that solution isn't just about the tools that people use on their laptop, but it's the places that they work. And that's both the office, the kitchen table, wherever that may be in a house, as well as the business themselves. How do you keep a business secure while you're trying to give your employees all of the flexibility that they now want and are asking for, and helping them be as productive as possible, right? So these are all areas that I think are super important and are top of mind. And so when we look at hybrid work as a platform, we look at what are all the capabilities you need to do that. One, I mentioned the physical spaces. So you need to have rooms that are outfitted so that everything you say can be heard. All of your facial reactions can be seen. So you can have great communication like in person. But not only that, we know how a space is being used with Cisco Spaces. We know what the availability and the overall foot traffic in a building is. We can help you plan for how much real estate do you really need based on how spaces are being utilized, right? So I think that's kind of the whole physical side of it, and make sure obviously that you have the network to support all of the needs there. But next, the tools are not just the call, the meeting, the message. It's how do you keep in touch with everyone? How do you bring the culture together? And all of that sitting on a common platform makes it easier for IT administrators to see what's going on. Is the problem because a person can't connect? Is the problem because a headset wasn't working? Is the problem because the network was down? And by the way, it doesn't even have to be my network from a work standpoint. It could be the ISP. It could be the home network. But we can help you get down to that problem as fast as possible and help resolve it with the things that you can or cannot control by getting the right help as needed. I think that time to dissect and fix is critically important. And we do that really well. I would claim best in the industry because we are not looking at just the one user, the one application. We're looking across the entire experience, all the way into our partner ecosystem, into your home, right? And making sure that we can help you understand what's going on. And the hardware plus software is one, but when you add hardware plus software plus network plus security, I think it is quite differentiated as an overall platform.
100% with you there. And with your recent announcement on Gen AI in Webex and the partnership with AT&T, how do you see all these things colliding and revolutionizing collaboration, communication, and so much more within an organization? How does it all fit together for you?
So on the Gen AI side, I think we are looking at how do you get more out of the time you've already spent? I entered the meeting. I listened to it. How do I get the summary from it? I had the customer call. How do I make sure that I've summarized what happened, their sentiment really well, so that on the next handoff or the next time they call, we are better prepared to make them a happy customer, right? And so I think that's where the Gen AI is really coming into play, is really helping people contextually be more efficient in the jobs that they do for the teams and the customers or people that they serve.
And AI has been at the front of, or the forefront of, numerous technological innovations. So how does Webex plan to utilize AI to shape the future of the customer experience? I appreciate it's a huge question and we're only finding our way and almost navigating uncharted digital waters together. But how do you see this evolving?
I think there's multiple categories where AI can be used. I think at one end, it's very useful in the virtual agent. And so you no longer have to get to a human, because the ability to understand what you want as a person through AI is getting so much better, right? Not only what you want, but I could actually respond to your question when I look over a wealth of knowledge-based articles. So I think that's one way that it's been really great. And so not needing to engage with a real life person just gets better. So you get faster self-service, faster experience and responses. When you're actually talking to an agent, being able to give the agent as much information that is contextually relevant to that call, that customer, also helps the overall experience get faster, more personalized. And I would say, deliver higher customer satisfaction. So your CSAT or your NPS improves. Then I look at what happens after that agent engagement. How could I understand what's happening amongst my team? How do I prevent agent burnout? How do I make sure that I'm upskilling the team on the topics that are trending? How do I know that we're efficiently running the business with the right kind of capabilities, with the right customer problems in mind for the right call queues we have? I think all of those is just like a wealth of data that we haven't applied AI to at scale. And so I think there's a lot of opportunity there as well. So before the call, in the call, or before the engagement with a human, all of the virtual side or digital side, the engagement in real time, and then everything that happens so that we can continuously improve the entire system, you will see AI in every one of those areas. We talked about our self-learning contact center. That to me is probably the most exciting thing. Imagine you started with just a group of people answering questions and there was no training. You just kind of figured it out. But as they figured it out, we documented it. And by the way, we retrained everyone on their learnings. Everyone is just getting better as we learn and encounter new experiences. And you can do that in a way that's very measured. That for me is super exciting, because a lot of folks run blind. They know they have calls, they know what their service levels are, but not every agent is equal. Not every agent is able to retain the training in the same way. How can we measure that and help everyone continue to get better?
And before you came on the podcast today, I always try and do a little bit of research on my guests. And when I was looking up you, I found that you have over 10 patents under your belt. So I've got to ask, can you share your thought process behind one of your patented inventions, and equally, one that you're most proud of?
So most of my patents are in the AI, ML, natural language processing space. It was when I was, a lot of them were when I was at Microsoft. One of the patents that I worked on, which was actually one of the last ones that was really fun, was trying to understand how to schedule time based on everyday language, right? And so things like schedule my son's soccer game tomorrow at 7 p.m. It seems very rational. We can understand that. But if you are, a computer, and this was almost 10 years ago, knowing what tomorrow means knowing what a soccer game is, who is your son, right? These are all things that wasn't inherently understood because it's all relevant and contextual to you. And so we worked on a bunch of extractors and understanding like, what is the verb? What is the noun? What's the action that's happening here? And how do I turn that into an invite and block off time at the right time? It feels so basic now based on everything that AI can do. But like 10 years ago, it was like, wow, I like said something and it like created this schedule for me and it now has a notification. And the reason I was proud of that, I think, is because it was a really clear stepping stone in how AI was already going to be able to aid us in our life, right? So at that point in time, a decade ago, maps were getting better, directions were getting better, all of these kinds of things. We understood traffic a little more. It was a premium service then, but it was interesting. But now it's actually helping me manage my day, which was not a thing that we had then, right? And we've slowly seen how AI has augmented our ability to manage our day, our life, and how to process and produce content every single day. And like we've gone deeper into that world. And so that for me was really exciting.
Incredibly cool. Well, Webex's calling feature has also been praised for its capabilities. So can I ask you to share a little bit more on the future developments of Webex calling for any of the customers that might be listening, and also how you see that feature evolving to meet the future needs of enterprises in the near future too?
Sure. Let me start by the AT&T announcement we said today, because I don't think we were able to cover that.
Yeah.
We see mobility being an incredibly strong trend in the market. I talk about, very often in the industry, we look at what's happening in the consumer world, and then you can apply it in the business world. Consumers became very comfortable with video, and we saw that take off in the workforce. Prior to that happening in the pandemic, a lot of people were not comfortable turning on video at work. Similarly, we saw homes get rid of their home phone. And what do they use instead? Their mobile device. We're seeing companies say, I don't know if I need a desk phone. I actually see everyone just using their mobile device. The problem right now is that mobile device is not secured in the same way. It is not recording the conversations that might be required by compliance. And it doesn't always have the efficiencies that you may be used to with a desk phone, like a quick extension dialing to a teammate. With Webex Go and what we're actually doing with AT&T, we're continuing to invest in that mobile trend so that you have all of those efficiencies you used to have on a desk phone, but you have all the security and compliance that you had with your phone system and the convenience of the consumer experience that you've now become accustomed to in your consumer life, which is using the native dialer on your mobile device, not even needing an app. We have a great app, but we still see a lot of people pick convenience, which is, I know the native phone is just the easiest way to make a phone call. I'm not loading an app. And so we've embraced that trend. We've partnered with AT&T to make that more accessible to our customers. So really excited about that. Excited about how mobility is really changing the way people are looking at workflows, whether you are in a contact center or if you are, someone that works inside of a hospital and are taking calls as part of what used to be a desk that, multiple nurses or people were supporting. Now you can take that on a mobile device, right? And so I think there's some really interesting transformation that's happening there. With regards to features, we really leaned into making it easier to actually manage the phone system and actually taking some things that only IT used to be able to control before and letting the end users actually control that a little bit more. And with that transformation, one, as a user, I'm in charge of my own destiny, and it's in a way that is actually really easy to use. It's not IT, super technical knobs and configurations. It's a button that I say, yes, I want this turned on or off, and it's very end user friendly. And so I'm really excited to see that kind of democratization of capabilities now in the end user space. But where I'm excited with regards to like enterprises, really making a bet on us and helping fuel our overall growth is the total number of phone calls we support every month is still over 8 billion phone calls, not minutes, phone calls. So we have this wealth of experience in how phone systems work, whether that is in a hospital, in a school, in a government, on a university campus. And we've taken all of that knowledge and we've brought that into the cloud. And so when I hear customers who are very concerned about moving into the cloud, we're able to take experience to help them reimagine those workflows and land safely in the cloud for the things that they want to be able to accomplish, whether that is modernizing to a soft phone instead of a desk phone, whether that is a mixture of desk phones and soft phones and mobility, like whatever those use cases are. I think we're actually really doing a great job of identifying how do we help them evolve with their needs for their employees and their customers. Telemetry has been our hugest asset, I would say. Our control hub, our manageability and telemetry is, I would claim, best in the industry. Being able to not just see how things are working, but understand anytime anything goes wrong, how you quickly fix it, because those phone calls are pretty important. I think it's something that a lot of our customers have really appreciated. We've also taken a lot of advanced capabilities that used to be only in a contact center and made them available in our basic calling offerings. Really looking at how do people work together, how is work shared, and can we improve that with things like our group call management and our advanced queues. That seems pretty differentiated. We're getting a lot of positive customer feedback there, so we're going to continue to lean in.
Wow, incredible. We've covered so much in a short amount of time. We started about Cisco Live, what you've been enjoying. But before I let you go, after all the conversations and keynotes, what are you going to be taking away from Cisco Live, and what are you going to be reflecting on that plane ride home?
I think there's a deep appreciation for how much time people are willing to invest with us across the board. It's not something I take lightly. You know, there's a lot of folks who come out here to learn about what we're doing, where we're going, and are willing to even engage on why are you going there? And, you know, should I be on that same journey or not? And when I hear about the stories of who they're serving and what problems they're trying to solve, I think it's very humbling to realize like the things that we build are not just a button in an application, right? It's actually helping support an entire population of people and a government. It's helping support people who need care. And I think these kinds of events always give you that refreshed energy around how much of an impact everything you do every day actually has on the world. So for me, it's, you know, coming back to my team and reflecting on like, look at what we do every single day and look at what we're responsible for and why we have to continue to do better and to continue to engage with our customers so that we are building things that are useful for them.
I think it's a beautiful moment to end on. But before I do, for anyone listening, want to find out more information about your work, keep up to speed with the latest things that's happening, where would you like to point everyone listening to check out?
We have some really great blogs that we publish through Webex. And so definitely take a look at those. Definitely my LinkedIn. I post a lot about everything happening in the industry, as well as, you know, our point of view as the world is changing and we're trying to continue to solve for all the challenges that come up.
Awesome. Well, I'll link to that on the show notes so people can find you nice and easily. I think we covered so much there, from the end-to-end platform covering both collaboration software and hardware, but ultimately delivering hybrid work, customer experience solutions, but starting with the problem first. It's so refreshing to hear. So thank you for sharing that with me today.
Thank you for having me.
And that brings me to the end of an incredibly insightful session now with the absolutely remarkable Lorrissa Horton. And I think you'll agree that she's such an engaging speaker, and her passion for the topic and the future of work and what she's building really shines through. And that's from the latest developments with Gen AI and a partnership with AT&T to the exciting vision of Webex CX. So I'm going to be following this closely, looking at how they're revolutionizing how we understand and practice collaboration in hybrid working experiences. So I'm truly grateful to Lorrissa for taking the time out from the bustling Cisco Live event and the show floor here to share her expertise and visions with us. It really feels like the future of work is being shaped today. So I hope this conversation has given you some food for thought. Maybe it sparked a few additional ideas about how you can adapt and thrive in it. If you have any questions, suggestions for future episodes, comments, whatever it might be, please contact me directly, techblogwriter@outlook.com, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, just @NeilC.Hughes. And as always, remember, you can find out more about me at my website, techblogwriter.co.uk, if you'd like to work with me. There's a lot of options there too. But thank you for listening as always, and until next time, don't be a stranger.